Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Oh, it says I'm muted. What? Doesn't look like I'm muted. Can you guys hear me? You can pop something in the chat or give me a thumbs up. Great. Thanks, Lori. Yes, thanks, Andrew. Awesome. Okay, we'll get going in just a minute. I'm excited for our class today. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you want to, and where you're coming in from. You don't have to. You can just, you can just be here in the way that feels just right for your nervous system today. So, excellent. Hello from Lake Country. Welcome. I would also, let me just stop the share here in myself. There's Mark. Just a few little technology things. I'll pin him.
Good morning.
Hi. Add you in. All right, we'll start in just a moment. Let me just let some more people in here. Great. Okay, well, we can get started. As I said, I'm excited for today's class, what we're going to be going through in the next 3 weeks. I am recording. Yes, I am. And just to get us started in this course called Anchored, I'll just invite Mark from the clinic to get us going this morning. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Great. Yeah. No, welcome to everybody, to the patients for joining in. Thanks very much. And just a special welcome to Madeline. Thank you for putting this course together. Welcome on behalf of the Bill Nelms Pain and Research Center. Madeline is going to be talking about the vagus nerve and that we learn more about how to activate our vagus nerves, basically, which, as you'll discover, is really important in sort of anchoring us and down-regulating some of our nervous system responses, particularly with pain and hyperarousal of our nervous systems during times of high stress and pain, which is part of the sort of rewiring process of neuroplasticity and how our nervous system can change in a more positive way in dealing with chronic pain and stress. So, yeah, does that
sounds good to me. I think you said it really well. Just in terms of regulating and down regulating, because when we start talking about activating a nerve, I mean, I don't know about you, but if you're living with pain, you're like, I don't need any more nerves activated. And so this is going to be a very different nerve that we're going to talk about today, and really is I think essential to this nervous system regulation we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, the vagus nerve is a parasympathetic nerve. It's a nerve that can downregulate stress, anxiety, hyperarousal. It's one of the largest nerves in the body, and it has huge importance. So, yeah. So just a couple of things from the clinic. Just if people want to put things in the chat, Madeline can address those. We just ask that we're respectful of one another so that people feel comfortable and to ask questions. No question is silly. Just put it in the chat. She'll do her best to address those. And yeah, just be kind to one another. Thank you.
Thanks. It's a good motto for right now. Just be kind to one another. It's all good for the vagus nerve and for you. All right. So I will just unpin you. There we go. Okay, welcome. So I'm Madeline. For those of you who haven't met me, I've met most of you, and some of us were together last night in a webinar with Keith Meldrum that I think was, really, really valuable. I'll be uploading the recording to the website today. But that aside, if you haven't met me, I do a lot of the online classes at the Bill Nouns Pain Clinic. And yeah, I have the honor of meeting with you guys on a fairly regular basis. And let me know. I see some familiar faces. I know some of you might be new. Let me know if this is your first time in one of our classes. So you can do that by just popping it in the chat. The other thing I'll just orient you to is at the bottom, it's the bottom on my screen, not with everybody's. You have access to, well, where are they? Reactions. That's what I'm looking for. So some of you like to send little hearts or thumbs up as we move along. But the main thing being that you are welcome here in however you are today, in however your day is going so far. So let's just take a moment before I start diving in to what we're going to be talking about and practicing, to get a sense in this moment, perhaps of your own nervous system. Now, you don't need to know a lot about it to tune in and just sense how you are. And I'm going to invite you to just see, as you bring awareness to yourself, can you make yourself just 10% more comfortable? So as soon as I notice that I've got to just shift my posture a little bit so I can be more present. Some of you, if you're in a more lethargic or a bit of a foggy state, some of you might want to move closer or sit more upright. And then notice if others of you if you are moving very close to the screen. I'm just letting people in the waiting room here, into the classroom, the waiting room. Notice if you're super hyper focused on what I'm saying. And if it makes sense for you to just move back a little bit. And does that bring you into a more relaxed state and a more awake and aware state without moving right into falling asleep? So there's no getting this wrong and no getting it right. I'm going to invite you to just notice that now. And see what your body needs. This is not a small task. I notice a bit of dryness in my throat. That tells me I just need to take a little sip. You might want to close a door, open a door, get near a window, get away from a window, just whatever makes sense for you in your individual nervous system today. All right. Take a deep breath. Even let out a sigh. And you might feel yourself sinking into your seat and your feet a little bit more, or not. So in today's class, it's a continuation, but there's no requirement to have been there, from an online retreat that we did last week. It was a 4-hour go with breaks. And it was about befriending your body to manage pain. And that can sound very counterintuitive to a body that is in pain and has likely been experiencing pain for quite some time. And so we have a natural impulse to disconnect from our body. Makes a lot of sense. And we do that in many, many different ways. So through our time together, I'm going to be introducing you, some of you will know this already through other sources, to your vagus nerve. You don't need to know anything about it, but I will start off with a little bit of education, simply because there's often a part of us that goes, which should, now why am I doing this again? Like, what I need to know what's happening. So we'll start with that, just attending to our minds. So maybe our minds can just, calm a little bit. And then we're going to move into the most important part, which is going to be our practices. So how's everyone? Good morning, Madeline. Yeah, it was a great call, wasn't it, Tammy? Welcome. Feel free to say hi in the chat, and we'll dive right in. So I only have a number of slides. And again, you don't need to take notes. You don't need to know any of this. We'll just talk about what we are doing here. So there's a reason why we talk about nervous system regulation for pain management. And if you have, which all of us here have experienced ongoing pain, it starts to involve the nervous system. And that's very different than having a broken leg and going to the emerge, you get it fixed, hopefully it sets okay and you're back on your feet. But when we start to have pain beyond 3 to 6 months, it starts to involve our central nervous system, which is our brain stem, our spinal cord, and all of our nerves. So it starts to require a little bit of a different approach. The good news is that it widens our options beyond and with meds and injections. So Keith talked about this a lot last night, having this idea that it has to be one or the other is not how we approach it. You may gear yourselves towards one or the other, but we're really talking about a toolbox of pain management that involves our friend, the vagus nerve. So this nerve, and this is really over the last, I don't know, even decade, in my therapy practice, I hear about it more and more and more. We're discovering more about this nerve. It's the longest cranial nerve in the body. And for our purposes, it activates the body's relaxation response and helps regulate stress. I don't need to tell you that if you've been in pain for a long time, your body's under stress. So how that shows up for you will be a little bit different for everyone. We have this might be a review for some of you. We have what we call our primary pain condition. So you might have arthritis. You might have many different conditions going on in your body. And that's our primary pain. And then on top of that, we have our natural response to pain. And that is our secondary pain. So that might be, well, you can tell me, how you respond to it. It might be with emotions. It might be with thoughts of, negative thoughts. How am I ever going to get out of this? What's going on? The kind of fearful thoughts, very natural. And in your body, muscle bracing and tension. So I'm going to invite you right now, wherever you are. If you're lying down, sitting up, this can be done any way. Our whole class can be. To notice in this moment where you might be holding some muscle tension. No judgment. There's no criticizing yourself here. So take a deep breath, or deeper, maybe slower, if it's possible for you. And as you let it out, I found myself just, unraveling a little bit of belly tension in my belly. Maybe it's your shoulders. Maybe it's your jaw. So the vagus nerve, if you are able to do any of that, and again, sometimes it takes a bit of practice, you've already started activating our friend, the vagus nerve. This is just to show you where it is, how it is. I want to show you how large this is throughout your body, right up into your facial muscles. And I teach this stuff in different ways a lot, and I always need to keep reminding myself of this because it attaches down to our lungs, our heart, and all of our organs. So again, the good news for us is that gives us many different doorways to be able to activate it, to tip us into less of a stress response. And we're going to do a few of those things today. Okay, so on 100%. I go to corrective care in Kamloops. They have a mat set up for the vagus nerve. Okay, that's very interesting, Tammy. And on our call last night, Keith was talking about neuromodulation, that he now has a device. Neuromodulation actually, from my understanding, activates your vagus nerve. And it has been found to be helpful in some people with ongoing pain. And that being said, there's many things we can start today. So you know, if you've had ongoing pain, that your body has been in stress, it's been in tension, probably likely naturally been in worry. And this response to having this signal of pain in our body activates our fight, flight, freeze part of our nervous system to try to protect us. Now, of course, the dilemma is that we don't have a threat outside of us that we can get away from, right? It's not like we're being chased by a bear, or there's something that you can do. Often there are things you can do to escape the pain. So we're going to look inside of ourselves to see what we can do with our vagus nerve to regulate ourselves out of the fight, flight, freeze. So just to show you a map. So we'll start with a map of what this looks like. So we have, generally speaking, these three branches of our nervous system. It's intricately tied into pain. Pain gives us a danger signal that we're in danger. We're going to pay attention to it. And over time, we can start to demonstrate to our nervous systems that it's okay, that we're safe enough to turn down that harm alarm. Now, the reason I say demonstrate to our nervous systems is our bodies like direct experience. So somebody could tell you, or you could even tell yourself, how many of you have said, I'm safe. I don't need to have all this pain. I'm safe. I don't need this pain response. Well, we can often tell ourselves that until we're blue in the face, but our nervous systems are like, I don't believe you, because I'm concerned about your survival, and you got to prove this to me. So we can, this is what the class is about, directly accessing that experience. So notice where you find yourself in these three branches. So the dorsal branch, let's go with the middle first. Sympathetic is when we are mobilized, when we're stressed, we're agitated, we're angry. You might be moving or talking quickly. Maybe your voice, your vocal tone is maybe louder or faster. And that happens naturally when we're under stress. When we've been in a fight or flight for a long time, we can move to a place that I often see you know, in a state of when people have ongoing pain, into a shutdown. So just numbing out, feeling disconnected, numb. This is accompanied by, you know, feelings of despair, hopelessness, you know, that kind of shutdown feeling. Now, these branches, sympathetic, dorsal, they can be very healthy. So if you think about it like an accelerator, so is the sympathetic, and then the dorsal is the shutdown. It's like an accelerator and a brake, accelerator, brake. And, you know, you can find yourself almost in both of them sometimes. Tell me where you find yourself. Do you find yourself mostly in the red or the blue or both? Or maybe you're in green, but probably if you're in green most of the time, you're probably not in this class. So notice your body. Adeline says, I'm finding between red and blue. Yeah, so you go between the accelerator and the brake. One says red and blue. Yeah, red for sure, but emotionally uncertain. Why? Okay, between the two. Yeah. So, yeah, okay, we can see where we mostly are, and we can also see where we vacillate between the two. So we need both of them. Like, you know, stress is, I need a little stress to get me up in the morning. You know, you need a little bit of stress to, say, be driving a car. And then you notice someone cuts in front of you. Oh, you quickly shift. That's your sympathetic going, okay, get me out of danger. All right. And we go back. We go back to regulated and we're driving along again. We can tell if we're stuck in sympathetic if we tip over into road rage and we can't deactivate ourselves. We can tell when we're stuck in dorsal or in shutdown because we just don't have energy anymore, lethargic, and our mood is essentially blue. Good. Thank you. So of course, where we want to be, and you know, honestly, I kind of see this work is helpful for everyone, more so, I think, if you're struggling with pain. But in the world today, you know, we're seeing this ping pong, ping pong. Let's try to get to ventral for more of the time. So the green is when you feel for a moment or longer that you're safe. You will still have the primary pain condition, and it's still possible to know that you're safe. So you feel secure. That's where we can actually connect. Why is this important? Because we're humans, and you know, we're here, we're connecting on Zoom in a way that hopefully feels safe to you. And safety can come through that connection with yourself and with other people. Okay. Okay. So we want to create more safety. This is my goal, you know, for us through this time, is to have practices to notice when we're in red or we're in blue, and to start practicing activating our vagus nerve, big long nerve, to get us closer to ventral. What does that mean for pain when we're in the green? It means less pain. And why? Because pain is a danger response, and the green is a safety response. Okay. So how does that sound to you? Feel like you're in the right class here? That's the question, Madeline. Let's go. Okay. I have got two things that kind of really stick with me, and I call, you know, the mantras, so little phrases to guide us that we'll be unpacking. one that really sat with me through the work of Deb Dana, and she has been interested in the vagus nerve for quite a long time, is that our stories follow our state. We'll unpack that in another class. But what I mean by stories is the thoughts that we tell ourselves are a result of the state of our nervous system. And the research shows us so far, overwhelmingly, that the state of our body determines what kinds of thoughts we think. So there's a reason I'm starting with that. And it's because when we start looking at our nervous system for help, we can start to let go of this being a personal thing, like it's something about you. That's something that you did or you didn't do, or that pain is somehow your fault, or you notice agitated thoughts and you think, what's wrong with me? That is an indication of where your nervous system is at. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like super important to me. Because how many of you would beat ourselves up? Why am I here again? What have I done? What do I do to, or feel guilty or ashamed for where we're at? We can look to our nervous system. Yeah, all the time, absolutely. And this is so key, because I don't want you to stay there. In this like self-deprecating place. And there's many ways we can get out. Okay. Here's the next thing. Discomfort does not always mean danger. And that doesn't mean that if you cut yourself that you don't need a Band-Aid, because we're all intelligent people here. But if you've had ongoing pain, those signals don't always mean danger. Sure feels that way, doesn't it? I'm just going to leave those there for now. Just put those out there. And because I want to get to practice. Let me know if there's any questions coming up before we start some simple practices to start. Yeah, so turning it in on yourself. What's wrong with me is a very, A, it doesn't really have an answer. And B, it doesn't make us feel very good, does it? Because it becomes like a personal thing. When pain becomes personal, that somehow something really wrong with me. No, you have a nervous system in your body whose primary role is to keep you alive. That's what it's worried about all the time. It's not so much worried about your joy and your pleasure and your happiness. No, it's like, if I see something that remotely resembles a threat, I'm sending a signal. So we need to let it know. As it's scanning the room right now, it's scanning my voice, it's scanning me, it's scanning the teachings right now as we're talking, looking for threat. We need to let it know right now. I think I'm okay. So let me know if there's any questions before we move along. So the more toned we have, the more tone we have in our vagus nerve, the more access we have to green. This doesn't require any special education or anything. We all have access to this, and that's the beautiful thing. So I'm going to start. Yes, of course, in your jaw. My pain in my jaw. Jaw intricately involved, and we're going to involve the jaw today, because you can see all these ways that the nerve branches out that come very near the surface. And the way it comes through our face, our facial muscles, connect directly down to all of our organs inside of us. It's a little bit harder to get to our organs. What about you? Pretty darn impossible, but we can get to our face. Okay, let me stop that. Hopefully I'm in the middle here. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So let's start some somatic practices. And somatic, what I mean by that is the body. Rather than trying to think our way out of pain, we're going to start. Is this making sense to you? Why this would be important for people that live with ongoing pain? You let me know. While I have a sip. Okay. Great. And some of you are probably, healthy skepticism. Let me see. If you're new to our programs, I do recommend that you go back to the website and watch our primary, our chronic pain primer, because that'll give you more information about how pain persists. But until then, let's start practicing. So I invite you to just follow along with me. The very first, the easiest to access way to activate our vagus nerve is going to be through the breath. And our access points today are going to be basically from the head probably to about the shoulders. And those are like our doorways. Each one of these doorways is leading down into that big wandering system through your body. All right. So wherever you are, and the diaphragm and the gut is a part of this as well. Settle in to whether you're lying down or you're sitting up. And if you can, again, just make yourself 10% more comfortable. And I'm going to invite you also to not work too hard at this. So maybe think about 70% effort. So we're just going to, the very first thing is just slow it down. Just slow it down. So begin by just noticing your breath. And just notice. And as I said that, many of you might have noticed, oh, I wasn't breathing there. I'm going to invite you to take just a slower breath in. And get through your nose if you can. And then out through your mouth as if you're blowing through a straw. So again, if you can, just 2 more. Breath in through your nose, maybe down into your belly. And out through the straw. Maybe a little bit longer of an exhale. And one more as best as you can. If your mind starts saying, I can't do this, or whatever, fears, doubts, okay. Just come back to your breath. It's just state driving the story. Now take one of your hands and just place it on the back of, like your brainstem, really. There's a part that comes out, and then there's a little soft part down below it. Just put a hand there. Just lean slightly back into your hand. So already you might notice a lengthening, you can release that, a lengthening in the back of your neck. Maybe your chin just bows down just a little bit. That helps the flow of the vagus nerve. So if we're like this, there's less of a flow. So I'm going to invite you into your back body. Just lengthen through the back of your neck. Don't tuck it like this, because then you've got another kink in the flow. Just nicely bowing down a little bit, a couple centimeters. Good. Back to our breath. In breath, out breath. One of the places that can feel chronically tight, you can keep breathing as I'm talking. The easiest way over time. One of the ways that we constrict when we're afraid or in fear is through our throat. So if you've ever had that experience of being afraid and you lose your voice, that's your nervous system. So what I'm going to invite you to do is take your breath in, and on the exhale, to either sigh or bring a sound, like a vibration, into your throat. So it might sound like, ah. I just feel that perhaps a little deep into your body. We're in the interior right now, in the interior landscape. Or it might sound like, ah, and then breath at the end. So as we're doing this, right now in this very moment, your vagus nerve is like, what? Paying attention. Ah. The vagus nerve, our friend, likes that vibration. It's like, oh, okay, maybe it's waking up a little bit. You can do this anytime, anywhere. Maybe not in public. They might wonder if you're okay, but go ahead. Let your energy sink in to where you're sitting, where you're lying down. And if this is the only thing you took away from today, good. Let it sink down, 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 out of your head. Don't fight with your mind. Just bring your attention. Oh, somebody just sneezed. That's funny. You might notice, actually, sneezing or yawning are probably the biggest things when you start to release tension. Singing is awesome, Marjorie. Singing, you're in the moment, you're activating your voice, you're opening up the airways. And this is why people do chanting, they do singing. When you're in the car, let it go. Or if you're in the shower, maybe you're just in your house. Singing is a beautiful way. And of course, movement, dancing, if that's, and so, because we want to start opening up these airways, opening up these channels. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the face. I'm going to keep my glasses on, just so I feel more engaged when the screen is not fuzzy. And as you just relax, perhaps maybe let go of tension in your belly. Take your let's do it this way. Going to take an in breath, and on your out breath, just allow your ear, your right ear, either ear, to lean a little bit towards your shoulder. So just resting there. This is just a movement. You might feel a stretch in the side of your neck. An in breath. And on your exhale, take your eyes to move towards the corner of the socket. You can do this with your eyes closed too, towards your shoulder. So letting your eyes, this is an easy way to activate. Just let your eyes rest, not pushing too hard, some effort towards your shoulder. Continuing to breathe. On that side of your face right now, you might just remember that when we do that, we're coming out of fight, flight, freeze. So on your next inhale, bring your eyes back to center, bring your head back to the middle, back to the middle. Take a breath here. And we're going to move to the opposite side. So again, shoulder towards ear, eyes towards that shoulder. I know this doesn't sound like a big impact. Keep breathing. You don't have to think about it. I invite you to just simply just do it. If you think about being, just breathe in fight, flight, or freeze, you are focused on a threat, on a target, on maybe oncoming traffic. When your eyes and your head are off to the side, your nervous system knows this body must be safe. This body is not focused on a target. Breathe in. Breathe out. On your next inhale, coming right back up to center, and maybe just close your eyes for a moment and just check in. Check in with your body. See how you are maybe now compared to when we started the class. Good. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to involve a little bit more of our body. And again, we're slowing it down. Anytime we slow it down, that takes us out of that agitated, restless state while still awake and breathing. Okay. Breathing slowly. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to move into just twisting our body slightly to one side. So what I like to do, I can show you first, is to take an in-breath. Again, filling ourselves up. And as best you can, I'm going to take one hand, I'm going to place it on the opposite side, opposite leg on my thigh, and I'm going to gently make a twist, you know, from the bottom. For you, if it's just your eyes, that's okay. And if you can, move any part of your body just over to the side. And again, you can incorporate your head and your eyes in it as well. And this is definitely not what you're going to be doing with your nervous system if you're under threat. And just breathe here. Be in a way that's not too tight, that you can continue to breathe. Exhale. Maybe just relax any muscles there that may have tensed up with this movement. Gentle twist in your gut. You know, obviously be mindful if you have neck and spinal issues. Keeping your eyes in the corner. This can be done lying down. Beautiful release in many ways. And on your next exhale, I'm going to come right back into the center. Close your eyes if you like. Take a check-in. Check in with what you know about yourself, what you know about your system. Good. Of course, we're going to move to the other side. Taking a breath in. And then can you move a little bit slower if you find yourself going fast to jump there, to get there? Can you move a bit slower? Again, twisting gently, and then as you can, your neck and then eyes towards that corner. And just stay there for, they say about 20 seconds is needed for a shift. Okay. Notice any other muscles that have tensed up. Do the best you can. Staying there, breathing. Eyes in the corner. Good. On your next exhale, coming back to the center. Never thought I'd be teaching this in pain management, right? Moving your eyes. We know, through trauma treatment, something called EMDR, that eye movement activates memories, it activates nervous system within your body. So this is a very direct way of being able to bring in the green more often. Okay, how's everyone doing? We're going to move to our last part here. See what you need. Okay. So I've got to take off my glasses for this. As I said, that vagus nerve comes closer to the skin, to the surface, in our facial muscles. And you'll notice that pain involves grimacing, right? It involves, this is part of our fight or flight. It's it can involve like a withdrawal, a tensing of the facial muscles. And that's all a part of it. That's really, really natural, right? When it comes to if you're under threat, or if you're being chased, or you're feeling afraid, or somebody says something to you that feels hurtful, you're not going to be in a calm, relaxed state in your face, are you? You're probably going to wince or flinch a little bit. Yeah. So turning left gave a slight earache when I went back to the forward. Okay, interesting. Yeah, just move slowly and move slowly. It sounds like you felt like a little twinge there in your ear. And then as long as when you're back and you're breathing, that it's not there anymore. Just notice that. So Lori, yawning is really, really common. And that's a great release. Tears are a move towards the green. I can't say this often enough. Tears are a release. And I like to say, when that water is coming out of your ears, hopefully not your ears, out of your eyes, how natural is that? Very. And it's coming out, it's not going back in. So tears are a release of tension, particularly emotional tension, that is part of this journey with pain. So tears start to come up when we start to activate and get into a more relaxed state. Really, really common. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to move into the easiest place to access. And I recommend doing these exercises throughout your day. You don't want to do it just when you're in crisis, because we want to every day be moving ourselves slowly more and more into green, because we're changing neural pathways, right? We're not just relaxing. That's part of it. That's how it shows up, but we're changing our brain pathways. Okay, enough talk, Madeline. Take a deep breath in. Now I want you to bring your fingertips to the insides of your eyebrows. And you can do this with eyes open or closed. Just start massaging, just gentle, medium pressure, not too forced, on the insides of our eyebrows. Good. And enjoy this. Enjoy this. And then we're going to move along the tops of our eyebrows. And just see what's happening in your jaw. Gently, so I'm going to slow down a little bit here. See what's happening in the rest of your face. And bringing, you'll notice a release of tension, this coming right over to your temples, sides of your eyes, maybe just staying there, in your temples. Good. Okay. Don't forget to breathe. Let's check in. And now we're going to bring our hands below the eyebrows. And again, following that line with a gentle pressure. You know, through the Chinese acupressure points were very, very wise. They knew what they were doing. These points on your face, many of them, well, we're going to go under the eyes now, directly relate to organs in your body, your gallbladder, liver. Okay. Release your hands, breath in. Check in. We're going to take our hands underneath, gently along the bottom of your eyes. Just enjoy. Make sure this is pleasurable for you, that you're not working too hard, and that you're being there with that sensation and moving along the bottom of your eyes. Gentle pressure. And coming up to your temples again. You can change direction if you like. You might notice releases. You might notice yawns. Good. And as we move down, you know, along the cheekbone, there's a lot of release points there as well. So just coming out, like sort of where your sinuses would be. And moving out towards your cheekbones. Oh, remember that long neck at the back. Under your cheekbones. Kind of like small, there's like more tenderness down there sometimes. Out. Good. And then we're going to come down. Down sort of where your sinuses would be. You can even just do like in the middle lip there. Okay. You can check in with yourself, because we're going to come down through the jaw now. Go slow. I'm notice myself kind of rushing. Just going slow. Jaw. Remember that these points are activating the green. Around the eyes would be a really good thing to do every single day. The very last thing we're going to do today is the vagus nerve sends all its little branches up to your ears. So let's take our hands and just do a gentle kind of rolling of that outside. I don't know the name of it. I do know, but I can't remember that flap of your ear. If you do know it, you can let me know. And working your way down the outside of your ear. So kind of just want you to get a feel for it. Just get a feel for, I've got my headphones in, so I can't really do too much. And then this little part that hangs down, just rolling it between your thumb and your forefinger. So all of these things, and then we want to put our hands inside and just give a gentle tug on your ear. If you don't have earbuds in, or you can do it later. Just tugging on your ear, just massaging your ear. So this makes a lot of sense when we think about when we're in fight or flight or freeze, because we're still activated, that all of our senses are going to be on alert. On alert. So again, if I'm in the forest and there's a bear, I'm going to be acutely listening. I'm going to be very focused watching. And that's where our vagus nerve shuts down, because that's not a place to be in relaxation. My digestion is going to slow down because it's not the time to digest food. All of my energy is going to be activated, in our case, often towards pain. So we're spreading out our awareness by all of these little activations that can bring us to having more access into green. Does this mean that we never go into red or blue? No, we are going to. But we're going to be able to notice and get ourselves back there eventually, maybe without having to do a lot of the exercises. But I want you to be able to find a way that you can bounce back a little bit quicker over time. And it puts us in a better place for our healing, for nourishing our body, for soothing a nervous system, a body that has been in protection mode for probably some time. So much yawning happening, right? Yeah, so much yawning. Yeah. Good. It's good. It's just a release of tension and of that energy of focused, bracing, and everything that goes along with that. So let me check in. How's everybody doing? Is everybody falling asleep? Yeah. Protection mode for far too long. Yeah. Our body, we can forgive it for trying to protect us. It's an exhausting job. And we have ways to bring us back so that the end result, hopefully for us here, being that our pain volume can start to dial down. My face feels really soft. Good. Very easy tools to help. Yes. We want easy. We don't want to have to. We're working hard enough with this. We want to have easy access, which is why I really love these tools. So thank you, everyone, for being here for our first class. I'll be sending out the recording, and I will encourage you to remember, if you can, maybe at certain points during your day, maybe it's just when you when you wake up and you're still in bed, that you activate, maybe as you that you're going to sleep, and throughout the day, just to start tipping yourself back into the green, back into ventral, and over time, that will start to become a bit of an easier journey. I will mention on Thursday, we have a gentle mindfulness, I think it's relaxation, gentle stretch that we will also be activating through all of these bigger movements, probably, and our mind. Well, they will also be working in the same area of the nervous system. So you're invited to join me on Thursday as well. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Yes, there is a recording of last night, and I'll upload it, Lori, hopefully by the end of the day, it should be on the Pain Clinic website. All right. Thanks for being here, and enjoy your practicing, and I will see you again next week at the same time. Have a great day.